Kirk trying to win it to Thielen, caught at the 5!
I got 3 words for you. You like that?
No! No!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Skull Network. My name is Nick, and welcome back to NFL Week 11 picks. Quickly before we start, on my left right here are the teams on bye, and on my right is the updated season record. Let's not waste any more time, let's get right into the picks. Starting things off with Thursday Night Football, we have the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, as we know, started the season off 5-0 and have now lost 3 of their last 4 games. Russell Wilson has been declining very slowly from what he was producing at the beginning of the season, and as we know, Arizona just pulled off that amazing Hail Mary win against Buffalo, and this is going to be one of those type matchups. It's the NFC West. These games are always played very close. These teams have matching records, and this is going to be something that could easily determine who wins the NFC West here at the end of the season. Personally here, I believe Kyler Murray is getting closer to being the front runner for the MVP again. I remember I was saying that a while ago, jumped off the train. I'm a little on it again. But with the way the Seattle Seahawks have been playing lately, I just can't really pick them until they show me something and that they have a glimmer of life still. So in this case, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to kick things off on Sunday with the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans, and both of these teams actually took pretty embarrassing losses this past week. The Colts completely handled business against Tennessee and Derrick Henry, pretty much limiting that offense, which what else would you expect from one of the top defenses in the league? And the Ravens got taken out by Cam Newton and the struggling New England Patriots. But even with that being said, I like where the Ravens are a little bit more, even with that loss. I mean, the Patriots, they're bad, but they're not one of the worst teams, so it's okay to lose against them. And same goes for Tennessee. I mean, the Colts have a great defense, not the greatest offense in the world, but just off of instinct right here, I'm going to pick the Baltimore Ravens. Now we're going to move on to the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. This one's pretty easy. The Falcons are currently sitting at 2-7, and the New Orleans Saints are one of the best teams in the NFC at the moment, currently maybe even the team to beat. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I'm going to pick the New Orleans Saints. Now we're going to move on to the only undefeated team remaining in the league, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars almost pulled it off last week against the Green Bay Packers, showing that they have some life even without Gardner Minshew playing, but I think the Steelers are not going to be losing any games until they face an AFC North opponent. I feel like that is one of their best chances to lose this year. More than likely against the Ravens, or even possibly against the Browns, who knows. But I just feel like the AFC North is going to be the spot where Pittsburgh loses if they do it all this year. So with that being said, I'm going to pick the Steelers to go 10-0. Now we're going to move on to the Patriots and the Houston Texans. The Texans are coming off a bye week. As we know, the Patriots are coming off one of their few wins of this against the Baltimore Ravens, and the Texans are still, where they are. I think these teams are a little more even than people think, despite the record difference. But I think in this one, I like the Patriots just a little bit more. Now we're going to move on to the Eagles and the Browns. The Eagles have basically 0 wins still, it feels, and they're still leading their division. It's amazing. The Browns now have Nick Chubb back, and he came back with a vengeance this last week. And I think that he continues on this streak. Baker Mayfield will hopefully benefit from that, and I'm going to be taking the Browns in this one. Now we're going to move on to the Lions and the Carolina Panthers. These teams are pretty even in my eyes. Christian McCaffrey is still currently out at the moment. Whether he is scheduled to play, I do not know at this point because I'm recording this on Monday of week 10. But aside from that, the Lions were able to take care of business this past week, and this one's a little bit of a toss-up for me. I think on paper, a lot of people would like to choose the Lions, better record, better overall team for the most part. I'm going to pick this as more of an upset. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. Now we're moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals and the Washington football team. Washington, as we know, lost on that last second 59-yard field goal by Matt Prater last week against the Lions, and the Bengals were obviously not able to get things done against Pittsburgh last week, one of the best teams in the league. You don't expect a ton from them with where they are. Once again, Joe Burrow is one of the top rookies in the league. Maybe could win Rookie of the Year. Who knows? Nobody is sure. Both of these teams kind of in shambles. This one's kind of a toss-up as well, as I've already said for a couple games. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. Now we're going to move on to the afternoon games. We're going to start with the Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys. Now at the time of recording this, like I said, this is on Monday. The Vikings game has not happened against the Bears, so I can't use any input or information from that game to make my pick right now because it hasn't happened. But even if the Cowboys are back with Andy Dalton, I still don't think they put up a very good fighting chance. It just didn't look like things were going very well even when they had him in. Even though I was very optimistic when he first went in, things just weren't looking very well. And as long as Dalvin Cook can continue to cook as he has been these last few weeks, maybe against the Bears, like I said, don't know, hasn't happened, don't kill me. This is a pretty easy pick for me. You guys already know I'm going to pick the Vikings. Now we're going to move on to the Dolphins and the Broncos. The Broncos got taken out pretty easily by Las Vegas last week, and the Dolphins are still on that streak. They have won 5, 6 in a row now. Tua Tagovailoa is looking very solid. He's not going to be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year or anything, but I believe if he had started the beginning of the year, he'd probably be a lot closer to the guys above him right now. But aside from that, I don't see the Dolphins really slowing down at this moment. who knows if this win streak is a little bit of a fluke. I still don't feel like the Dolphins are all that great of a team, but I do see them winning this game. Now we're going to move on to the winless New York Jets and the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Justin Herbert, as we know, basically the runaway winner at the moment for Rookie of the Year. He's been playing great, along with Joe Burrow, but at the moment it seems like he is the front runner, and the Jets, I mean, they're still the Jets. They didn't lose to the bye week, so that's basically the only positive they have in the season so far. I feel like Justin Herbert could have quite a field day with this defense and this team overall. I don't think the Jets get their first win here. I think they're going to have to wait a little bit. I'm picking the Chargers. Now we're going to move on to probably one of the games of the week in my eyes. This is going to be the Green Bay Packers versus the Indianapolis Colts. As we saw, the Colts were able to take care of business against a pretty damn good Tennessee team and hold them to 17 points, obviously while scoring 34 last week in pretty convincing fashion. And the Packers almost took that loss against Jacksonville last week. It was a little scary for Packers fans, I imagine. I wouldn't know, but you get what I mean. This one is another one of those toss-ups because these teams are obviously both very great in their own separate ways. Packers on offense with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, it's probably the most deadly combo in the league. And the Indianapolis Colts with that essentially #1 ranked defense. Not sure of the exact ranks off the top of my head, but it's damn good. It's a little close to call, but I'm going to take the Vikings fan in me and just put it into this pick. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts. Now we're going to move on to Sunday Night Football. This is the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs, and as we know, the Raiders were able to take care of business the last time these two teams met. I don't think that's going to be the case. Pat Mahomes is currently the front runner for the MVP in my eyes, but Dalvin Cook just behind, just saying. And the Raiders, while good, having played pretty well the last few games, I just don't think they keep up with what Kansas City is putting down right now. Pat Mahomes is on a roll, as I already said. That team is always dangerous, and I don't think they're going to lose to the Raiders twice this season. I'm taking the Chiefs. And we're going to finish things off here with Monday Night Football. It's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Rams were able to really impress me this last week, taking out Seattle pretty easily. And as we saw, the Buccaneers are back in full. Tom Brady with another 300-plus yard and 3-touchdown game. It seems like the offense is back from that little lull they had against the New Orleans Saints. This might be the closest game of the week. I could see this being kind of a major shootout. While the Rams offense didn't put up crazy numbers last week against Seattle's pretty bad defense, I mean, anything is really possible. Jared Goff once in a while just blows up for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns for no reason. But I'm liking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a little bit more in this. I just feel like that team is a little more put together. I think Aaron Donald could cause some issues here for Tom Brady, as well as a good amount of the rest of the Rams defense, but I think that Tampa Bay is going to be able to pull this one out, but I don't think it's going to be by a ton. And that is going to wrap things up for Week 11 picks. If you guys thought any of these picks were great, or if you thought they were awful, either way, let me know in the comments below. I love to talk football with every single one of you. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the button down below to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you guys want to share the video, go ahead. No one is going to stop you. Give it to the crack dealer on the corner. You guys already know. My name is Nick, this has been Skull Network, and I will see you guys with the recap between the Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys coming out on Monday. Adios.